Hello and welcome to It's Your Show, yet another episode of our series Limelight. Today's show is about glow, grace, and grit, the Mahana Syed journey. Today's show will put spotlight on Mahana Syed's incredible journey as a global pageant winner and a multifaceted entrepreneur, while inspiring our viewers, especially women, to pursue their passion, believe in their dreams, and embrace leadership while driving impact across communities. Our guest today is Mahana Syed. She is Ms. World Universal Icon 24-25, and she also owns and runs many colleges and health businesses. One that is a career college, and she also has a care center with elderly education, and as well as a recently opened wellness clinic where she makes wellness and health accessible to all. Welcome to show Mahana, and thank you for joining us today on It's Your Show's Limelight series.
Perfect. Thank you for having me, Shristi, here.
Okay, Mahana, let's get into the show right away and jump in. So, tell our viewers a little bit about who Mahana Syed is.
Wow, that's probably a big package to unbox, but
Absolutely.
I'll do my best. Mahana is somebody who's become a person just going after the things that she wants in life. And I've learned through probably a long journey that nobody else will come forward and do that for you. And so when we dream something, we have to be the ones to take steps. And through that, we find that things do come together.
Wow. You did try to sum up that big question into a very, very powerful answer, right? So nobody is going to come to fulfill our dreams. We are the ones who have to believe in them and as well as make efforts to fulfill them. So Mahana, like I introduced you to our viewers as Ms. World Universal Icon 24-25. Do you want to say a little bit about the title or your journey to it?
Sure. I mean, you think of somebody in their 40s stepping into pageantry, like how does that happen, right? And how does somebody like me, I think, comes into the situation with an international crown? Well, for me, the journey, how I could sum it up is I was just looking for a way to continue developing. You know, you come to a place in your life where you're the mentor and you help others develop, but how do we continue growing ourselves? And I found pageantry to be a great platform to continue growing and, you know, giving somebody the power to judge you, right? That's an incredible experience to think about. And I just finally one day said yes to it, and here I am. And it was a journey of just learning and growing, but also it was an affirmation that maybe I'm doing the right things.
Absolutely. Like Mahana said, it takes a lot of strength and grit to be able to put yourself out there to be judged by others. And also, we'd like to let our viewers know that in almost a little more than a week, Mahana is going to be in Thailand for this year's Miss World Universal, and she'll be crowning her successor. So, do you want to like throw a little bit light on that, like how you feel about that, or one full circle on this with the crown? And
absolutely, this is. Let's say this is the tail end of my reign, my international reign, and I'm excited about a week from now I will be crowning the successor of the Ms. World Universal system. And my goal, because I have the word icon in my title, you can't have that without doing iconic things. And so my goal was to finish my reign strong, and I have some exciting things that I'm working collaboratively with all of the national title holders that are coming out there. And it has a lot to do with world peace, which is what I think we all need to focus on these days.
Need of the hour.
That's right. So we're publishing a book, a children's guide to cultural inspirations from around the world, and learning about the different cultures and the people that are in the world is how we can instill love and acceptance in children. So we're working collaboratively, and that's being published right now to give out to children in Thailand.
Wow. So like you heard her, pageantry now is no more about just looking good, stepping on that stage and, just the outer beauty. There is so much that these pageant queens are doing and giving back to the communities. What you said about this is very interesting because I think, pardon me, my ignorance, but I haven't heard of something so interesting and out of the box being done in a pageantry. I've seen people advocate for a lot of causes and give back to the community, but bringing all the national title holders and publishing a book, and especially to give out to the children. I think children are the backbone. I mean, they are the next generation who's going to carry out things for the future generation. So how did this idea come up? And could you tell us a little bit more about that project? Like, I'm personally very interested.
Sure, I'm glad to hear that. In fact, I'm hoping a lot of people jump on board and want that to reach more children. What I found in my very short journey in pageantry is, along with all the growth and sisterhood and so much positivity, I did see a lack of unity in terms of the most cliche things you hear about pageantry, which is world peace, right? It's a cliche term to say.
You're almost addressing the elephant in the room, and I like that.
They expect that when you're on stage and you have the on-stage question, and it always revolves around world peace. Yet, in my experience, I see very little of it, and I'll be very transparent about that. And so the very first thing I wanted to do was an initiative on World Peace Day in September. And this is a movement we've started. When I say we, it means that I can't do these things alone. I have to empower others to come along. And so what we did was, for the first time probably in Canadian pageant, maybe even the world pageant history, is we brought pageant title holders from different systems together on World Peace Day. Yes, at City Hall, yes. And we raised the World Peace flag together. You did that with us. Yes. And yes, it's iconic, something I wanted to live up to during my reign, but that's my way of just maybe starting that movement and making pageant title holders realize that let's use our platform and then go beyond our community a little bit and think more worldwide. And so it started with that initiative, World Peace Day. And as I end my reign and wanted to, again, just end very strong, I thought, let's leave something else now for the next generation with this book.
And I think with the book, I think you're also leaving out something very tangible first. Yes. It's not just the experience, not the feeling, not the thought. You're leaving something very tangible, and that can be read and reread over and over again, right? So absolutely. That's something very, very beautiful.
Yes, and it's a storybook and it's interactive. So we make, there's reflection pages. So as you learn about a country in a very poetic form, there's an activity. So I'm hoping teachers and parents can sit children down and ensure that they're actually absorbing the information.
That's beautiful. Like, it's already so exciting to hear. Thanks. So I can't begin to imagine, how much of excitement and noise, positive noise, it's going to create around it. And I hope it continues. Also. Yes, yeah. Thank you. So you said your short pageant journey. Like, how short has this journey been? And what has being in pageant meant to you? Has it empowered you in any way, or how do you look at it?
Absolutely, it's a short 3 years. It's been for me. A few people just gave me an inkling about the idea of even entering. So you see, like, again, you're in your 40s, what are you doing entering a pageant? So it was said to me that, Mahana, you're already doing the things contestants say they would do when they win the title, and you should go and get a crown. And one day I woke up and I thought, I'm going to say yes. This is a great way for me to try to put myself out there, see how I can further develop, and maybe the things I'm doing will now have a bigger platform, so it just made sense. Yes. And so my first pageant, I came up as first runner-up, which was a disappointment because, I go for the win. But I learned that is already an incredible achievement. And then I followed through within the same year in the Mrs. Canada pageant and came out with a national title, and of course onwards to an international one I brought back to Canada. So that's really where my mind is, very global, very worldwide. So it just makes sense that I continue pursuing and go international.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, she did win the title of Miss World Universal Icon and brought that crown home for us here in Canada. Thank you so much for doing that. And So I see, when I was reading about your profile, I see that you own and you have founded multiple businesses, and which are in varied sectors. It's education sector, then you have a wellness clinic. So how did the motivation for this start? Were you always so motivated and driven, or has pageantry kind of helped to complement it, or has the businesses that you own helped you to complement in pageant? Like how is that lens?
Great. It does appear that Mahana does many things, right? I have a portfolio of these businesses and all these initiatives, even my not-for-profit. But I like to sum it up and say Mahana does just one thing. Mahana creates opportunities, right?
Wow.
And so any business idea or initiative that I have, I look beyond my own capabilities because they're so big. It's beyond what one person can do. And so in that then becomes an opportunity for employment. So I proudly employ some great people, and I hope to continue contributing to the Canadian economy in that sense. But also, in initiatives for people to come on board in any which way to take advantage of the idea. And so that's why I continue saying yes to myself, right? And I take on these initiatives because if I don't, the opportunity is lost for somebody else, because I've learned through my journey how to bring things together, and that's my strength. I say my middle name is Make It Happen. Mahana, Make It Happen, say it. And now you have to shoot. They say shoot for the stars, and wherever you land is good enough. And I do quite a bit of that. I take on a lot because I'm kind of driven that way. And some of us, if we don't, we don't know what to do with ourselves, to be very honest. And it's just been a journey of continuing to innovate and create, because it's helping somebody be employed. It's helping somebody. It's creating a platform for someone. And so, so it looks like I do a lot, but in the end, it's just me creating opportunities, basically.
Yeah. That's amazing. So Mahana Syed, when she is not leading her team at her businesses, she is juggling being a mother to 2 daughters, and also she is leading a lot of initiatives at her not-for-profit Pretty Ambitious Foundation. At that note, let's take a break, and you just heard the story of grace, grit, and glory of Mahana Syed. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
अगर आपको दुबई या मिडिल ईस्ट नुमा जेवरात की तलाश है, तो आपको दूर जाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं। आज ही हमारे मिसिसागा रिजवे स्टोर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स। हमारे पास सोने के बेहतरीन कंगन, कड़े, झुमके, हार और सोने के सेट्स भी दस्तयाब हैं। शादी हो या मेहंदी या कोई भी फंक्शन, आपकी पसंद के तमाम जेवरात आपको हमारे स्टोर में मौजूद मिलेंगे। आज ही हमारे स्टोर पर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स, 3465 प्लैटिनम ड्राइव, यूनिट 99, मिसिसागा, या फिर कॉल करें 905-828-0009। अल करम ज्वेलर्स, फरमाइश आपकी, गारंटी हमारी।
Hello and welcome back. You are with us listening to Mahana Syed's story, one that is of vision, voice, and victory. And it is your story too, because it's your show. So, Mahana, right before the break, we were talking about different ventures that you have. So, I'm sure it must not be very easy. How do you juggle between these different roles that you play as a international pageant queen, entrepreneur, being a mother, your family life, and your community role? So, how do you balance or manage that?
Great. So, if there's one thing I ever advocate for, it's accessible education. So, everything I do is rooted in learning and sharing education. And there's a great reason behind it. And might encourage others to try to come on board with sharing knowledge and such. You know, they say when we leave this world, we leave with nothing but our good deeds, right?
Absolutely.
But when you have certain deeds you do in this world that have a residual impact, education being one of them, you teach somebody something and it continues improving their lives and such, you know, you want to do more of that in different ways. And so that's why I say accessible education. And so with the Career College, we have health and beauty programs that we've done now for 17 years. So it's quite a journey.
Wow.
Just in the recent years, we have wanted, when I say we, I usually it's my dream that my vision that I bring to life with a team. We've been wanting to reach different demographics of students. There's different learners out there. And so at the Care Center, we have day programs for adults with developmental disability, right? And we're working on recreational programming for seniors because you can't stop learning, right? So education, again, is rooted really in everything. So although some of my initiatives or businesses look like they're different, they're all rooted in education. The wellness clinic also, you know, it's making wellness and self-care accessible. Someone like me who prioritizes others will put self-care on the back burner, right? And so it's also a way for me to prioritize my own wellness as well. So I'm not a practitioner, right? So I'm not a registered nurse or a wellness practitioner or a yoga instructor or medical esthetician, but I created the clinic so I could bring a multidisciplinary environment so people can access that. So they're coming across Ontario, and I want people to, in fact, you know, come out to one. If it opens in your area, come do a yoga class on me. Just say you know the owner. And let's just prioritize personal health.
Yeah. So, if a little bit on your family. So I hear that you have two daughters. I'm sure they look up to you. So, what is the kind of legacy that you plan to leave behind, be it for your daughters or be it for so many lives connected with you through these businesses and pageant?
Sure. So I think in terms of legacy, naturally we want to build something we leave behind so they have an opportunity to thrive, and have monetary means to buy it. But in reality, it's a legacy of impact really that I'm looking for, right? So an impact through, again, education, it has a residual impact.
Absolutely.
And so I believe I'm already stepping into that. I want to continue growing and developing some of the initiatives. But, I encourage people also and my daughters to do anything possible to leave a positive impact in this world, even plant a tree. And so next week we have Eid coming up, and I've done something just that I'm loving. I've had 4 olive trees planted in Palestine.
Oh, wow.
And when you plant trees, again, it's not just, what we do, our parents benefit from our righteous acts, right? And so 4 trees, because my mother, my late father, even when they pass, they continue benefiting from our righteous deeds. This is what we believe. And then my parents-in-law, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Oh. And so they don't know that yet. I will be telling them on Eid. But, just leave a legacy of just doing these things that stay longer than we do.
That's so amazing. This episode airs before Eid, so they might just know if they watch this.
That's right. Saves me something to do.
So let's do a few very quick, one-word questions. Say, what's your favorite food or cuisine? Yeah.
And I'm not just making this up, but Thai food is my absolutely favorite. So I'm expecting a great set of meals there next week when we're in Thailand. But Thai food, 100%. I love Indian also.
Wow,
Yeah.
so many exciting things to look forward to in the coming pageant. Then your favorite food is in Thailand. You're launching the book. You're, crowning your successor. Wow, so excited. What is one thing that inspires you the most?
I'm inspired by anyone who is actually pursuing their ambitions, right? And so we thrive when we see each other grow, and I think that's the mindset that's been instilled in me, and I want others to be encouraged to live by also, is just seeing them take steps and start their journey. I'm always inspired, no matter how big or small. I've achieved some things, yes, but there's people doing greater things that I'm personally inspired by, even this person who just starts.
Yes. Does Mahana have any guilty pleasure?
I would say travel. I have, in fact, that was my industry before education.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
so travel, definitely.
Okay. And if we have to describe Mahana Syed in one word?
Ambitious. It's on my, one of my license plates on the car, ambitious.
Oh, that's it? Okay. So, okay, that's great. Now, this word ambitious also drives me to your not-for-profit initiative. So you have a not-for-profit foundation which is called Pretty Ambitious. Do you want to tell a little bit about it, or probably how the idea for it came, what inspired you, and also the name sounds very interesting to me, and I'm sure it'll sound, our viewers also would want to know about it. Her not-for-profit venture is called Pretty Ambitious Foundation, and let's hear from Mahana a little bit on it.
Perfect. I'm glad you love the name. I think it speaks to a lot of us. In fact, when we hear that term, pretty ambitious, it has a negative connotation to it, right? When you give a big idea, you tell somebody a big idea and they'll say, well, that's pretty ambitious of you. Yes. What they're doing is they're projecting their own inability. Yes. And they wonder how you will, right? Yes. And so I want us to continue being pretty ambitious and take steps regardless, even if it feels impossible for us. We can't limit ourselves. If your idea is so big but you don't have the skills or resources, this is where you come together with people, align your mission and pursue it. But the name is just very relevant, I think, for people like ourselves and many of us that have dreams that we don't pursue. No. Absolutely. The foundation encourages that.
I also had another lens to the name, probably because you started it and you are very pretty and you are very ambitious. So,
Gosh, I mean in pageantry, I mean, that's kind of the stigma that we're a surface level about. Yes. Beauty. Beauty has very little to do with pageantry, in fact. But as part of personal growth, we do aspire then to look our best, right? With our height and the way our complexion, whatever it is, we embrace it and we walk into a room and we own it no matter what we look like. So that's part of pageantry. But at the end of the day, you win it at the interview. You win it on the onstage question when you're using your voice and you're articulating the ways that you're impacting this world. That's what wins it. So, and that's why competing with 20 and 30-year-olds didn't stop me, because I was ready to just talk about what I've been doing.
Absolutely. Now, having said that, your perception about what and how pageants are and the pageant world, before you joined the pageant and after you have become such an integral part of it, like 3 years, 3 different titles, 3 different systems, or probably, 3 different systems when you're doing it, right?
Right.
So how has that changed, or has it just affirmed to what you thought pageants were, or has it changed?
There definitely is a stigma, absolutely. I feel people don't understand just because they don't look to understand, right? And what we can do is just lead by example. So if you have a title, represent it the best possible way. This means how you even dress with it, how you act and behave with others is a reflection on not just you as a title holder, but the whole industry. And so stigmas are definitely there. I was looking to break some of that, especially with the World Peace Initiative, coming forward, having a seat at the table moment with, members of parliament raising that flag. So definitely that. But at the end of the day, it's again, like, us being in pageantry is also to amplify our own personal initiatives, which for me was making aware that education is the root of what we do. And I'm hoping this book is a way to children and start teaching them early about cultural inspirations from others.
Okay. So, yes, so like Mahana said, there's a lot of stigma around pageantry. And the whole purpose and motive of this segment, Limelight, is to clear a lot of air around it and let our viewers know that beauty and crown and title does come with a lot of responsibility. And these beauty queens have a lot of kindness in their heart, and they are advocating for a lot of things and giving back to the community. Like Mahana said, raising that World Peace flag at the City Hall, Brampton, last year in September for World Peace Day was one of the initiative, and it happened for the first time. And I was very honored to be a part of it, along with so many other beauty pageant queens from different systems. So, Mana, coming to that, do you see yourself competing again, or this international title is where you say, okay, I'm done with pageantry, or do you see yourself competing again?
That's a great question, and a lot of people are asking me that these days as I come near the end of my reign. I'm just allowing myself to just focus in on the next week, finish my reign strong. After doing that, I'll be entering a new era in terms of your age and how pageantry works. So when you hit 45, you're in an elite milestone age.
Okay.
So as an elite, I would then potentially compete with people in that age bracket, which you would imagine would be even more accomplished women, yes, right? And so I might just be up for the challenge. I don't know if it's right away.
Okay.
But I have a lot of initiatives with or without another competition or another title. I'm still at it, and I might wake up one day and say, okay, I'm in my elite era. I'm going to go for it and compete with accomplished women that probably are doing beyond what I've been able to do, but I'm up for the challenge.
Amazing. So we hear that there can be another pageant that Mahana might be entering. And when she talks about age, yes, the pageantry has a different age limits at different stages. Usually girls 18 to 29 are in the Miss category when they're unmarried. Girls above 29 and if married are in Mrs. category, and if unmarried are in Ms. category. And like Mahana mentioned, girls above 45 are in elite category. So there is no stopping whatever age or stage in life you are in. Pageantry is for everybody if you have a passion and interest for it. So you were with us in the segment Limelight, and we were listening to Mahana Syed's story. This is not just her story, it's your story too, because it's your show, where every guest owns their story and every viewer finds a piece of theirs in it. Thank you so much for being with us. And next week, we promise to come with another such empowering story of real women, real stories, real journey, and real power. Until then, take care and namaste.